Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I have San Angelo Central High School going through the 30-step sequence. Now, for those of you not familiar with this, this is the first-year cadets, not necessarily freshmen, but first-year cadets who have a sequence, a sequence of 30 commands called 30-step. I'm not all that thrilled with the name, but then again, you know, what else are you going to call it? So anyway, this is the first year command sequence, and I've had a request for a critique. So here we go. All right, so first off, Commander, don't face with your flight. Everybody, this is all the services. Every commander faces the flight, the platoon, squad element when halted to give every single command. Unless you're echoing, then you're not facing, you're giving it over your shoulder to the formation behind you. But so you're giving direct commands, so that means you're going to face the formation every single time you're halted. When you give forward march, you're going to step off with a left face in march, and you should have been told that. But here we go. Timing is not all that bad. So timing on the facing movement, a little off. You could hear the heels going boom. Not bad on the salutes, except maybe one or two here and there. It looks like all the services salute the same, but we don't. So Army, Air Force, and Space Force salute with the upper arm parallel horizontal, but the elbow is forward of the torso. And if you draw a line, a straight line from the left shoulder to the right shoulder and then on out, then the elbow is forward of that line. Okay, we're still going to take the middle finger, place it on the eyebrow, especially in the flight cap, or at the corner of the glasses. If you're wearing glasses, I'm wearing contacts right now, but then you'd place it here, either the eyebrow or glasses there if you're wearing glasses, and then but I see a dipped elbow here. This young lady right here, kind of a dipped elbow, much more forward of the shoulder line. And then Marine Corps, Navy, and Coast Guard, they have nothing but a straight line there, which requires them to kind of pull that finger back to almost the corner of the eye. So it's almost the same type of salute, but slight difference.
Sir, DrillMaster Martinez with San Angelo Central TX 936. Requesting for fresh circulation. Appreciate you utilize your area, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. So you're closing your hand much too early. You close your hand at the belt level. You open your hand also at the belt level. And I was just looking at some alignment here. Alignments is not too bad as far as the I mean, you've got just you can see here the line, this black line here at center court is almost going through the first cadet's heels. This cadet is a little bit to the left of the line. This cadet is a little bit to the right of the line. Third element leader is to the to the left of the other two element leaders. So it's you think you know how to cover, which means getting in line with the person in front of you, but until somebody actually shows you exactly, you know, making sure that your shoulders are square with the other shoulders and all that, it can take others. Some can get it right away. Others need a little bit more practice, need to be shown exactly what to do. And then here we have a bent wrist also. But what I'm looking at is, and I wanted to go back here to about there and just see. So, and second element leader, you're swinging your shoulders. I mean, it's just slight, but you still have that rocking back and forth. The elements start off with some good spacing. See the spacing here? Element leaders, you've got some good spacing. But then notice as you're marching in, it closes in. And then by the time you're here and facing, you're very close. So you're not keeping that spacing the entire time that you're marching. And we have the report in and there, reported and finished. So look at that about face as well. Let's go back a little farther.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, bent knee. So the Air Force and Space Force, and well, actually the Army is the only service that bends the right knee to execute an about face. Everybody else will, with the right toe, make a big backward C and then execute the movement, execute the pivot. So that means that your right knee does not bend. So you have to make that big C to then make the pivot to make the V as the ditty goes. So don't you go to parade rest, Commander. And your voice kind of went parade, you know, kind of up and down a little bit, but it's parade rest. Yeah, you went down. Parade. So it's parade rest. And it's flight, not team. I know you can be considered a drill team, but you're a flight. Why did you do that? Why did you move like that? So you're too close. You should have been 3 steps away. Actually, right there would have been perfect. So as you open ranks, oh, so third element leader, you moved. That's good. You moved over. You fixed it. Nice job. I appreciate that. And it was very slyly too. So I guess you're not required to check alignment, but if you were, then you would have moved out of the way of first element coming forward. Had you been 3 steps away, you would have been fine going over to the end of first element. You go through the motions of checking alignment. Most competitions don't require you to move everybody around, 2 up, 3 back, etc. That's not a requirement. It's just seeing that you can go through the motions. And I would suggest to every competition, you really need to see the commander go through the motions. But then again, judges, you need to know what you're doing. You need to know what you're looking at and how to respond to that as well. So what we have here, look at this arm, this big angle downwards, slight angle down here. Everybody, all the arms are supposed to be horizontal. So you push that arm out straight. Whether the individual next to you is shorter or taller does not matter. You don't go up to the shoulder, you don't go down to the shoulder. Everybody is horizontal. If the shoulder is here and your hand is here, then whoever owns this shoulder needs to guess a pretty good guesstimate as to where that shoulder should be underneath the fingertips there, as if the fingertips were touching the shoulder. So these arms, all of them, every single one of them is wrong. And so Air Force requires a 45-degree head turn. The other services turn the head all the way. So it's just 45. So you're going to not turn your head as much. So don't stomp. Don't stomp on your step forward, and don't slam your heels together either. Exhibition drill, fine, that's great, but here we don't slam, we don't stomp, we don't do anything. This is all regulation drill. And how do we know that we're not supposed to stomp or slam our heels together or anything? Because it's not mentioned anywhere in the manual. If it were if it was a technique that we were supposed to use, then it would be mentioned. But since it's not mentioned, we don't do it. Period. Now, since you were so close, your open ranks here was also much too close. Still, all three elements, all much too close. And then when you finally close, you're even closer now. So the spacing is essential when you first fall in, and then you make your way through that through the routine. Again, Commander, you don't go to parade rest. You don't issue a salute. You don't face with them like this at all. You face the flight, and you are in the commander position. The commander position is not part of the flight. The flight is the formation. You are taking the flight through this sequence of commands. You're not executing the commands because you have a different responsibility than the team. The team has the responsibility to follow your commands. You have the responsibility to be the commander and execute, call the commands. They then execute those commands. You don't execute the commands. Not bad on the first step, but arm swing is... Commander, what are you doing with your arms there? Holy cow. So essentially, the Air Force has the exact same arm swing as the Army. Army is 9 to the front and 6 to the rear. Air Force is 6 to the front and 3 to the rear. But they just measure it differently. The Air Force is kind of silly and measures from the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh to the front of the hand to the back of the hand, depending, and it's exactly the same arm swing. Exactly. You just measure differently. So Army measures from the center of the thigh, which is much easier to distinguish, and well, at least I'm used to that. So anyway, but you have Commander, you have a non-existent arm swing here. Team has an inconsistent arm swing applied throughout. So that's one thing. As soon as you take that first step, and that first step needs to be a 24-inch step, just like the rest of the steps, you need to engage coordinated arm swing at the same time. All right, let's look at the center of balance. This is not a good application of the center of balance. You see, this cadet is stepping over the left foot. So right flank, called on the right foot, step, march. We take another 24-inch step. We pivot on that left toe and then kick the right foot out from the trail position now to the lead position. Okay, so right foot is now leading. When we're, and I've explained this in other videos, but I really want to explain it for you. So when you're walking, you have a distance between the inside of each foot. All right. So that distance, anywhere from about 3 to 5 inches, that distance is called your walking base. So we can call that walking base also a marching base, and it's natural. You just have it. It's an individual thing. You can adjust it. Obviously, the feet are all over the place here, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So as you march, even when you execute a flank, so I'm used to looking over here, but I've moved that, my micro, or the screen over here, my monitor. So Here's my left foot. I'm going to flank to the right. I'm going to kick my right foot out for that first step, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm creating my walking base. I have that space in between my feet. If you have any less, start walking a tightrope or even cross over like this cadet did here. This third rank in the first element, then you have completely gone out of your alignment. You've completely screwed up your alignment, because here, right here, this third rank second element, she has not crossed her feet, but it looks like is applying a walking base there. And obviously I have to work with each individual to find out their walking base and all that, but to find out specifically what is going on with each one. But you need to continue that walking base. And I've been studying marching for years, and finally, when I discovered the walking base and having to apply it, marching this way and this way, it totally made sense. That's how you keep your alignment. So after you turn, if you don't keep that walking base, you're out of alignment. So see how it's after the hip correction there. Now she's way out of line, and that's because the momentum carried. You're marching this way as you flank and don't anticipate of keeping your center of balance. All right, so now I need to explain this center of balance. So we pivot at a 90-degree angle. The center of balance is supposed to move inside the 90-degree angle. I don't know geometry or anything like that anymore, but and I have no idea what this would be called. But so we have that 90-degree angle. We pivot and we make that 90-degree angle, a nice sharp angle. But our center of balance is supposed to be inside that angle. So as we make that turn, if our center of balance goes through, which hers did at the back corner here, if it goes through the right angle, then you get this. This is the result. So it's essential that you keep control of your center of balance moving through the pivot, and also creating your walking base. Now, concentrating on keeping your walking base from one direction to another direction, no matter what it is, that's going to help you understand how to apply your body technique to keep the center of balance going inside that flank. So recovery took a long time there. All right, so we're going to concentrate on back corner here, the cadet right here. So she's going to pivot, and then look how long it takes her. And she never does. She never does essentially cover down. She's always here and doesn't cover down. So that's called recovery. And that was, and even right here. So second rank first element, he's covered down on second rank second element, but he's not covered down on third element in front of him. So huge. Of course, these are minor, but when we go into competition, these are huge problems that need to be addressed immediately. And then also on that flank right there, watch the shoulders in the middle here. You can the white patches give it away. So the team almost. No, let's do this. So you've got my flag patch here. So as the team turns, you can see this. And it's not arm swing specifically. It's a shoulder movement, and it's big. You can see how and the reason I know it's not specifically tied to arm swing is that almost everybody is coming back and going forward. So let's one more time. I promise I'll go on. But see, we still have a slight shoulder movement by a few of the team members. So they're swinging their arms essentially from their neck. So the shoulders are moving back and forth just a tiny bit, just a little bit like this, when the shoulders should be still and the arm should be coming back and forth like that. But you can see that the shoulders are moving quite a bit. All right, so you're getting into stomping here, and you shouldn't. And we're gonna go back. I just want to look at feet. So some phasing issues here. So phasing means that all the left feet, while they seem to everybody is in step, they don't hit exactly at the same time. So you can tell here her right foot's forward, and then her right foot and her right foot are just barely leaving the marching surface here. Okay, so at least you have a heel strike, and I appreciate that. I really do. That's great. A lot of times you'll have a whole foot strike or a toe strike. Air Force requires the half step to be just like the whole step, just half the distance. So we have a 24-inch step, then a half step is a 12-inch step, but it's a heel strike, and you actually need to, just like you're marching normally, you need to lift the toe, not hyperextend, not raise the toe up as high as possible, but you still need to heel strike through the to initiate the step. What was that? Why did you stop? I've seen it before. I know what it is. Yeah, that's not the technique. It's a half step. And I hate it. I absolutely hate the Air Force to the rear. Can't stand that half step afterwards. It's one of the most ridiculous techniques known to man as far as military drill is concerned. Air Force screwed that up royally when they created that half step afterwards, because you already have momentum going forward, and now you need to completely rein in the momentum, make a stupid half step, and then start marching. And this is the result. You get all kinds of weird interpretations of this. So what the Air Force to the rear, though, is excellent in the first part. So you take, after march, you're going to take a half step that's 12 inches measured heel to heel, but the left foot is in line with the right. That is the best technique known to man for drill and ceremonies. It's perfect, absolutely perfect, because then when you turn around on both of the platforms of both of your feet, the platform is the ball of the foot and then everything forward. Once you turn there, all the way around, your legs aren't crossed, and you don't have to uncross them just to take that first step. It's an excellent technique. I love that portion of it. Now, from there, you should be able to take a full step forward, a 24-inch step forward, but you can't. You have to take a 12-inch step forward, a half step, but you're not doing that. What are you doing specifically? Yeah, you just stop. You bring your heels together. I thought so. So I just wanted to check that. I hope the cop's judging. So you turn around, you bring the heels together, and then you step off again. That's not the technique. It's pivot, half step, and then a full step. Where are you looking there, first element leader? So you don't do the column movement in in anticipation of the flight catching up to you. Commander, what you're going to do is give column right march and then start marching in place until the center of the flight comes up, and then you're going to execute a left flank in march, kind of sort of. You're already marching, so it's not a left face in march, a right face in march, and it would be a pivot on the right toe anyway. But anyway, so you're going to execute a left flank right there from your marking time. You're going to left flank into a half step as the team's center comes up on you. So and Air Force JROTC has screwed this up too. You're supposed to be on the other side of the flight to call eyes right, but JROTC says you can be on either side, which is just throw all the Air Force standards out the window. Not a problem. We'll just let everybody do anything they want at any time. However, execution. All right, let's go back. Good command. Good. Okay. Excellent. So your salute though, Commander, was just kind of wishy-washy. It needs to really pop down and then go back into good arm swing. And the reason you call it on the left foot is so that you can have that coordinated arm swing after saluting. Yeah, you're not half-stepping. His head gets in the way. There. All right, so first element leader right there. You take your right here is the second step after your pivot, and you should be half stepping, but you're still fully stepping out, and then you engage in a slight half step, but you anticipate the forward march, and then you start stepping out more and more. So you've got a half step, and keep it at a half step. 12 inches measured heel to heel. So that's close to change step, but that's not the timing. You pretty much didn't change step at all. If you were running a tempo check with somebody else, let's say another flight, you probably wouldn't have changed step because it was so slow. It's supposed to be change step, march, step, step, step. And it has to be that quick in order for you to change step. So what you did was change step, march, step, 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 step. And you didn't do it. So it's change step, march, step, step, step. Step, step, step. Has to be there. Arm swing all over the place. Now, that's the third. I'm sorry, I was calling you first element leader. So, but you're third element leader. Commander's over here. It's kind of weird. Anyway, look at you're bending from the arms, swinging in front of the body. So you should be on the other side of the flight there, Commander. And the spacing here
Left, eight,
is
right,
so
right,
close.
eight, halt,
Flight halt.
region, halt. Sir, Air Master Sergeant Martinez. Report out for first regulation. Proceed to exit your area, sir. Thank you, sir. Order, halt. Right, eight. Forward, halt.
Well, kind of left it a little late there for that halt, but all right. So San Angelo Central High School Air Force Junior ROTC. I hope that is helpful for you. It only took me a half hour to get through almost 4 minutes of drill, but there was a lot to talk about in this, and not that that's a bad thing. You're learning, and I'm very proud of you for applying yourselves. That's fantastic. So if you want me to critique another one, another performance as you grow and progress, absolutely I'll do it. Not a problem, anytime. So thanks for the request. I appreciate it.